Alright. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. You know, I was going to do a review of this last week, but I'm glad I waited till now to actually start it off right. Because tonight, delete, obsolete, delete, obsolete, delete, obsolete, delete, obsolete. Welcome to total nonstop deletion. And wow, what a night. Total nonstop deletion, folks. This has been being built up for probably a few weeks now, really. And this thing is mostly all about the Hardys and everything. And this whole episode of TNA was in Cameron, North Carolina. And we kicked it off with Cena Benjamin and Vanguard 1 pretty much saying this is done by trained professionals. No one was harmed in the making of this. With disclaimers, but we kicked it off with some type of news reporter, and he pretty much talked about the final deletion in Cameron, North Carolina. And it was the day of deletion. And he said, the anchor guy said, you know, there's going to be some curfew going on while tag team Apocalypto was happening. Because tonight would be the tag team Apocalypto. And seismic activity was happening for the first time ever in Cameron, North Carolina. Now, they sent a reporter over there, I believe her name was Betty. She's going to interview someone, but she interviewed one of Jeff Hardy's alter egos, It's Weed, which pretty much started acting crazy with Weed Whacker, and she ran off. But we kicked it off with Josh Matthews announcing everybody that, you know, it's a bird's eye view from Vanguard 1, the drone, filming everything as they talk about the final deletion as a ring announcer. Whoever this Deep Boys ring announcer was. He introduced the Hardys. They came out with Cena Benjamin. JB was also on commentary. As both were going to be on commentary throughout the whole night. Total nonstop deletion. Matt Hardy says, I knew you'd come. He said he has invited 50 of his most loyal soldiers, and they're here at their own risk, and that's why he signed waiver forms to be here tonight, which I looked at that thing. I don't know how many people are allowed in this house, wherever, shed, wherever Matt Hardy keeps all this stuff, and, you know, his logo, or some type of logo, you know, entrance ramp and everything, but he pretty much came out, and I guess you can only invite 50. I looked at that little, well, not little, but whatever shed or whatever they put this wrestling ring at, they could have put some more people in there. Maybe 100, maybe 150, but maybe there's a capacity, I don't know. He invited them there, and the entire state of North Carolina has been shut down in Cameron because of Apocalypto night. And at the seven deities told Matt if he and Jeff do not prove they are the greatest tag team of all time, then Cameron, North Carolina will be deleted. In other words, if they don't win this match tonight, the fate of Cameron, North Carolina will be destroyed or blown up or something. And he cannot let that happen. And he's going to give everyone a show of a lifetime. As he said, his son, King Maxwell, is going to make his in-ring debut. Rockstar Spud came out. And Matt said, you're worthy of deletion. Spud said, nobody's getting deleted tonight. I'm sick of you. I'm sick of your brother, your gardener, your drone, your wife, your greenhorn, whatever 1-year-old kid are taking up all the TV time. He's more over than me. I'm a former X Division champion, a future world champion, as he put it. Now, I came here to stinking North Carolina, put this all to rest. And pretty much, you know, I don't like your kid. As fans multiple times chanting deleted, and even chanting for Maxwell. And the kid hasn't even had a match yet. And he pretty much told him, you know, he's going to stretch him out and, you know, make sure his son learns Matt's son learns some type of respect for the business. And he's going to be a loser like his father and everything. So, you know, he's going to do good in this match. He's going to carry him. He's going to make the kid look good. And he told him that you can push him into whatever up the moon is how far you want to do, like all these other promotions. But Matt Hardy wanted to say it's going to be a no DQ match as King Maxwell came out in a little truck with Rebby, his mom, right by his side. And God, this match, pretty much the match started. Maxwell was in the ring. I don't know if this was editing or not, since they could probably edit the show any way they wanted, since this is all done from Matt's house. But Spud and him were pretty much in the ring, just, I don't know, standing there, and Spud was going to do something, but Cena Benjamin came down with a taser, and pretty much Maxwell ran up to him and pinned him. And this kid is like 1 year old, by the way. I'm surprised this 1 year old kid is. You gotta give this kid some credit, though. And I've said this before. Any other normal 1 year old baby would have probably started crying and seeing all this crazy stuff going on. Somehow Matt's son is able to handle all this and keep a great composure, especially even during Delete or Decay. You think he'd be scared by stuff like Rosemary, the Decay, or all this insane, crazy, batshit stuff going on. But his kid's a professional. Give him that. So, even can just do it. Kid's just that good, maybe. I'm not sure, but hey, he did good. We pretty much went to Gregory Shane Helms as the Helms Dynasty were there. They entered North Cameron. And they tried to warn Hurricane Helms right there. It's going to be a disaster going on. And Helms said, stand back. I'm coming through. The Rock and Roll Express showed up. Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson. One of the biggest legendary tag teams ever. They showed up to Matt Hardy's house, and Matt offered them vegetables, meat, green beans. But they said like some beans, and Ricky Morton wanted a beer, so I'm really surprised that the Rock and Roll Express even showed up to this thing, which is crazy. Sienna was here. She was in the ring cutting a promo, talking about Rosemary isn't here, which I think it was supposed to be a title match if I read that right before, but she said she's not here tonight since she's been banned for trying to hook up King Maxwell. And the only reason why Rosemary here because she was scared of Sienna. Sienna pretty much went on to say that, she's going to dub herself not a new #1 contender for the Knockouts Championship. But she said she's a classy lady. She offers an open challenge, and whoever wins will get her #1 contendership. Which some people think Sienna doesn't never talk. They say she has a voice, and really not that bad on the mic, but Vanguard 1 was coming out to wrestle Sienna. Yes, a drone was going to wrestle a woman. I don't know how, as pretty much they got to throw him out since he says you're not going to have a drone fight a woman, and Vanguard went on to say, you can't toss me, bro. This is bullshit as fuck, as he puts a BS and stuff, and he had to leave. So Sienna pretty much said the open challenge still goes, and if they don't do it by the 10 count, then it's over. And they went to a trailer outside where ODB showed up. ODB was back, and I may have forgotten this too, but I should also put that after Maxwell beat Rockstar Spud. Disco Inferno, I should have said Disco Inferno actually showed up. So yeah, that wasn't me. So Disco Inferno even showed up for a little bit of a quick cameo. A quick cameo in the final in this whole delete total nonstop deletion thing. But ODB did go against Sienna, which a lot was going on in this match, which the crowd was mostly excited. It only was like 50 people, and the ref was down in. And Sienna kept trying to grab a chair, but kept missing. Even Vanguard 1 came out as our ODB got the pinfall. Well, it was about to get 3. And Vanguard 1 had a hologram with the pin, but the ref pulled it out, saying Vanguard 1 wasn't going to count. And Sienna pretty much hit ODB in the back with a chair and hit the silencer and beat ODB then. As ODB pretty much then grabbed Vanguard 1 and pretty much had a motorboarder, which caused a system overload then. So, it was cool to see ODB back in TNA just for a good minute. We haven't seen her in so long. Like Lesnar heard she was in Ring of Honor, but she was back in TNA just for this good minute. Didn't have that mad of a match with Sienna. A lot of ref bumps, but over booking, but it was fun to watch. Matt Hardy pretty much told Gregory Shane Helms that your current costume is worse than your trick or delete one. They said, this is Trevor Lee. He's not wearing a costume. This is what he always looks like. And Helms wanted to be in the tag team of Apocalypto, as Matt Hardy had a premonition. And he pretty much had his scribe come out saying that the League of Reincarnation will be getting something tonight. Appalling. That's going to happen. Itchweed, which we did see at the Great War, and is also on that Hardy show thing. We had Chad Sterling, which this match was, I don't know, he put himself to sleep, putting this Chad Sterling into a sleeper. And Jeff won. I guess he threw a table, I know that. and he pretty much used the pesticide elbow for the victory, taking out Chad Sterling there. And he pretty much took the weed whacker and started cutting up Chet's clothes then. So I don't know what was going on with Itchy. Itchy was funny during the Great War, but I'm not used to seeing him in an actual match. Maybe the Willow would have done better if he showed up, but Itchy was still cool. The TNA World Heavyweight Championship was on the line, which was also kind of funny because Bobby Lashley showed up in a car, kind of taking his glasses off and on, and Eddie Edwards walked through the woods in his wrestling gear with the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Which I guess he's telling probably the wolves, so they kind of come from the forest. But I just find it odd that Bobby Lashley drove to Cameron. It was like, what, Eddie Edwards walked all the way from the Impact Zone in Orlando to get to Total Nonstop Deletion in Cameron, North Carolina tonight. So Eddie Edwards went against Bobby Lashley for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. I'm surprised he actually did have a title match on here. And they pretty much talked about EC3 still waiting for his title shot next after having last week on there. But this wasn't a bad match, really. It was actually good to watch. We're pretty much mostly wrestling in this one. Not much of craziness, but the crowd was involved. They kind of helped Lashley and Eddie Edwards win for him, and Bobby Lashley pretty much power bombed Eddie Edwards into the audience. Tossed him in there, and then he speared him outside where they continued to battle, which no one doesn't even know if this match ended or not. And I feel like it's kind of odd that we just had a title match out of the blue with Eddie Edwards and Bobby Lashley with no build. Some people thought it would be EC3 because EC3 was going against him. That's the same thing with Rosemary. I think EC3 or Rosemary couldn't even make it to Cameron, North Carolina, which would have been fun if they made it. We could have EC3 versus Eddie for the world title, but it didn't happen. And it's just like Lashley just kind of came out of nowhere with it. Well, I probably have to get that explained next week, but it kind of is what it is, and we just had Lashley versus Eddie, which they just fought into the woods, and they just went to commercial then after he speared him. So this match was good. It's kind of odd actually having a world title matches, especially part of this Total Nonstop Deletion without any building out of the blue, but hey, it happened. What do I know? But now it's time for pretty much the biggest thing of the night was Tag Team Apocalypto, which they even came back that Lashley is still fighting Eddie Edwards somewhere in the forest. We don't know where they're fighting. They're just fighting somewhere. So this title match is technically still going on while we're watching the Tag Team Apocalypto. The TNA World Heavyweight Championship is technically still on the line right now as we're watching this. As the Hardys came out first, the Rock and Roll Express, the Helms Dynasty, Decay, no Rosemary though, we're ready to go. They pretty much start smoking, explosions start happening. Says, please vacate the premises and stuff, telling the people to leave because everything had smoke and everybody battled each other as Eddie is still fighting Bobby Lashley out there. Matt and the Rock and Roll Express and Jeff pretty much took Roman Candles a shot at Decay and the Helms Dynasty as Abyss said, oh no, not again, as they started running through the field as the Helms pretty much got in there back into the truck and said, we gotta get out of here, we gotta escape the fireworks until Matt showed up in the trucks fighting Andrew Everett and Trevor Lee as they fought in the back of a pickup truck, which is insane. And Jeff had to take the referee on a dirt bike and go after him without any helmet. And as Abyss pretty much and Crazy Steve were somewhere. So this is going to be beautiful, and pretty much whoever these guys, these indie tag team jobbers were outside of the gate. As Decay pretty much took one by one. They took them all, which they literally killed one of these guys. I don't know if it was Abyss or not, but he snapped the guy's neck and pinned him. So we just witnessed somebody murder someone on TV in wrestling. Which, if you want to know, you can look at Lucha Underground. They do that stuff all the time with murdering people on there. But he snapped the guy's neck and pretty much killed him. And as Abyss and Crazy Steve beat the Duck Boys and all these job-related tag teams, Rockstar Spud was pretty much out the gate until these Bravado brothers came out and said, is this the line? I said, yes, this is the line for the tag team Apocalypto. And the Hardys, they battled through all North Carolina by a train going inside some type of clearance sales store. They were on the road. They were fighting everywhere. You didn't know where they were. As pretty much Abyss even, my God, he killed another guy. He smashed a rock over the guy's head and pinned him until Spud pretty much told the K to open the gates. My partner is here. And holy shit, I didn't believe who showed up here when during this whole thing. Hornswoggle making his return. Like, I'm like, Hornswoggle's here? He's in TNA? Well, now not in TNA, but he's part of this thing too. So they just looked confused when they saw Hornswoggle, the Decay. We went back to the Hardys and the Helms Dynasty as Matt pretty much they battled each other and hit that boat Skarsgård right there. But when this is hilarious right here. When Trevor Lee went for the pin and only got the 2 count, the boat broke it up. Skarsgård, the boat broke it up, and Helms and pretty much the whole Helms Dynasty started beating up the boat. They kick that boat, says beat that boat down. They stomp a mud hole into a boat, folks. Yes, Gregory Helms, Trevor Lee, Andrew Everett pretty much beat the living crap out of a boat and beat the living crap out of it. Just stomp a mud hole in that boat. Kick that boat's ass, which was funny as hell. This stuff gets more hilarious throughout the night. But Jeff Hardy stopped it, and Matt told Helms, you need to change an attitude, as they threw him in the Lake of Reincarnation. And he says, Lake of Reincarnation, what is this result of revolt if you turn this into? As we got the return of 3 count. As Gregory Helms addressed this 3 count, and I guess Everett and Lee were Shannon Moore, and I don't remember the last guy's name to this, but they were all 3 count WCW style tag team. And Helms said, you're not Moore, you're not Evans, I think. You guys are not good dancers. As they pretty much both super kicked them inside back into the Lake of Reincarnation. The Vibrato brothers pulled up in, and I don't know what company those guys are from, but at least they're getting some exposure. They went after the Helms Dynasty then. Then the Hardys went to go wrestle the Rock and Roll Express, which they were fighting by a volcano. They even went back to Lashley and Eddie Edwards, which are still wrestling somewhere. As Lashley's trying to choke out Eddie Edwards with that headband he wears on his head. So they're still doing that. He tried to choke him out. And it's crazy. And then the cherry pickers, these giant cranes above another wrestling ring in the middle of, I don't know where this volcano is there at, but they fought on top of cherry pickers as Robert Gibson's going for the Matt Hardy out there, him with a figure 4, and Jeff doing a swanton bomb off the cherry picker, missing like crazy as they left Ricky Morton on top of the thing. Matt pretty much hit a twist of fate on Gibson and eliminated the Rock and Roll Express. As Matt said, Jeff was, being a spot monkey and everything. As Ricky Morton pretty much was stuck. He said, I want to get down now. Enough of this rib. Rockstar Spud and Hornswoggle pretty much were back at the, arena or wherever the 6-sided ring is. And pretty much started battling with the Helms Dynasty. Well, Helms Dynasty and Bravado were pretty much out as they pretty much fought back into that shed because they went from a bathroom stall from the outside into the inside. And Hornswoggle pretty much Spud got in eliminated the Bravados, but Spud gets up on Hornswoggle's height, so he pretty much hit Spud with a power bomb and a tadpole splash. And Andrew Everett pretty much hit the pin on Rockstar Spud, eliminating Spud and Hornswoggle from the Sting. Lashley and Eddie Edwards fighting. Where were they fighting? I can't tell where they were fighting. They were just fighting all over the place. Like I said, this is probably the longest TNA World Heavyweight Championship match ever, because it continues to go and continues to go, and it looks like this match is never going to stop. So we got 2 matches going on right now: Tag Team Apocalypto and the TNA World Heavyweight Championship match. Which I just don't know where this is going now at this point. Road Warrior Hawk showed in. The Road Warriors. We'll just Road Warrior Hawk. Animal, not Hawk. Why did I say Hawk for? Road Warrior Animal showed up. And he was Ricky Morton, why are you stuck up there? And Animal had to get Ricky Morton down. Sorry if I said Hawk right there for some reason. Yeah, Road Warrior Animal showed up. he's part of this thing. I'm surprised he didn't bring anyone else. I guess like they were hiding right there if you wanted to. Abyss and Crazy Steve were still waiting to face somebody until James Storm showed up with all the DCC, well, multiple clones of them, which, I don't know, some say look like Jabberwockies, and Storm pretty much said, I'm about to be all over you like a spider. Like, until one of those, the DCC guys pretty much says, he was pretty much the dude from the Great War on the League of Decay, where they allegedly, I don't know, raped them and left them on the road, and said, I heard on the scanner, man, you were here, and pretty much Storm took off, so it's like, who in the hell are you? And he went taking out his pretty much Spud slapped this guy to the ground, and Storm pretty much had to stare down with Abyss. The referee pinned this guy, and they say he's out, and Storm pretty much was pissed, but he said, he's not even part of my team, I don't know who he is. That's not fair. Like, he said, get out of my face. It's James Storm pretty much super kicked him and had to leave. Where was Eddie Kingston and Bram? I kind of wanted to see what the DCC was going to do in here. I'm pretty much short-lived with just James Storm being there, which I don't even know why he was eliminated, because the guy was never on his team in the begin with. So, hey, what are you going to do? It doesn't make sense to me, but hey, it was at least Storm showed up to this thing also for the DCC. Should have brought a bigger army to beat up Abyss and them, but I guess he pretty much got pissed and like, he wasn't even part of my team. But he was there too. And then when since there was a lot of commercials in this whole show, but the Hardys and Decay pretty much brawled near the volcano with Bobby Lashley and Eddie Edwards brawling with each other too near the volcano. As the news guys kept saying, the fate of North Carolina depends on the Hardys now. So if they, like I said in the beginning earlier, if they lose, then Cameron, North Carolina will be destroyed. And pretty much the Decay and the Hardys battled back into the ring near these Hardy symbols, which I don't know that fire, I don't know if that fire thing yet, but Abyss pretty much went to get Janice, and Jeff had fireworks ready to shoot at Abyss, but Crazy Steve had a low blow on him. Then Vanguard 1 showed up. He says, booyah, it's fucking something, and pretty much him and Abyss had a firework war and stuff, and shooting at each other, which was insane. Then another crazy thing, which is, I thought this was funny. Stand back. There's a hurricane coming through. The hurricane was back. And he flew to save Matt Hardy. Since they were going against, since Everett and Trevor Lee were pretty much battling Matt Hardy by himself and threw him to those Hardy symbols, like graveyard or something. And they pretty much took shovels and beat up the Helms Dynasty as Matt got the pin. And then they literally, and this is one of the funny parts of the night, which I think was a shot fired to WWE, and I know everybody else knows. Since they literally buried Andrew Everett and Trevor Lee, Matt pretty much went on to say that the man with 3 H's would be so proud that they buried young and promising talent, and pretty much broke the fourth wall with a thumbs up, because, hey, Triple H, we know he loves to bury people, if you know what I mean. He's done that in the past. Triple H will bury people. Hey, the guy put the world title back on himself this year. What else are you going to say? We may know Triple H for NXT. I know people could probably give me an argument, but let's look at Triple H's track history. This guy's buried lots and lots of people, okay? And come on, putting the world title back on yourself again. Like, what the fuck now? But the man with 3 H's would be so proud that we buried young and promising talent. Like, we know the Elms died. We know Trevor Lee and Andrew Everett. And I really did, but they need to push Trevor Lee more. I like that guy. They gotta push this guy somewhere better, because this guy's got too much talent in him, and they need to do good with that guy, really, or else something bad is gonna happen. Because that guy, he said he's a technical savage. He's a savage in the ring. Big fan of Trevor Lee. But we went back to Eddie Edwards and Bobby Lashley still fighting for the TNA World Title right by the Hardy's house, as Bobby Lashley took out some random jobbers, and Hornswoggle tried to spear him, but he pretty much looked at him and shrugged him off, as Edwards pretty much did a crossbody off the top of the, I don't know, one of the stands or whatever, the house, and landed on Bobby Lashley, which was crazy also. The Hardy symbol was lit to the ground, which was even bigger. They're fighting over fire, so now the Hardys and Decay are fighting over fire right now, which is insane. as Abyss went back for Janice, and then Matt pretty much kicked Abyss in his nuts and grabbed Janice, the web giant nail thing, and hit Abyss in the stomach with it, as Jeff threw Crazy Steve into a volcano, a fucking volcano, and was spat back up, back to the earth, to the ground, as Matt Hardy pretty much pinned Crazy Steve to become, and well, still, the TNA World Tag Team Champions, and they saved North Carolina. And they celebrated that we must rebuild the compound, the final deletion or whatever, and stuff. All 6 of us, Matt, Jeff, Rebby, Maxwell, Benjamin, and Vanguard won, but Rebby said it's going to be 7, and Matt says, "You're pregnant? Wonderful!" So I guess his wife is now pregnant now again. And this was the end of Total Nonstop Deletion. Holy shit, I swear this tag team Apocalypto thing was damn near the whole hour, or last hour. It's like first we got some wrestling, and then the second part, you know, it was a whole hour. So some look at this as a sequel or whatever to come. We start off on Final Deletion to Delete or Decay to the Great War, and now Total Nonstop Deletion. And somehow Matt Hardy has made this work. Okay, he hasn't jumped the shark yet with this. Now, if he gave us too much of this stuff almost every week, we'd probably get tired of it quickly. But Matt Hardy has kind of learned to space this out. I wish we would have saw more other tag teams that could have been here, which I'm sure a lot of people are very disappointed that the Young Bucks didn't show up to this thing. And Ring of Honor could have let them really show, because I think people really wanted to see this, and Matt Hardy even invited them. So hopefully, if this does happen in the future, we will get some Young Bucks and the Hardys in some type of deletion style match, because it would have been fun if they show up in the tag team deletion. And Matt Hardy was even fun just to even, you know, invite all these tag teams, which we know are not going to show up. Young Bucks really, I believe, could have showed up if they had a deal, if Ring of Honor did some deal. Come on, Matt showed up in their place. At least let TNA at least have them with this, and we could have got to see something cool with the Young Bucks and the Hardys out there. I was waiting for the Young Bucks to show up to super kick some people. Hell, bring the whole Bullet Club. That would have been fun too to have them super kick some people to help them win this final deletion. They could have been part of this madness. That would have been fun too. But like they made this work somehow. And Matt, he even invited guys like the Day of the New, which you'll know who those guys are, the New Day, and he invited the DX and the family of Wyatts, the Bucks of Youth, I've already said, which is crazy. Taking shots at Triple H out there, and I think Matt's gonna be for a long haul in TNA next year, because he even said he wants to make TNA a resurgence again or something. So it's crazy. And I don't even know what happened with Bobby Lashley and Eddie Edwards, which I guess was a no contest, because this is probably the longest TNA World title match ever. Like I've said multiple times in this video now, since they fought so long, we don't know who won. Nobody knows. They fought through a force. They fought during the tag team Apocalypto. It was cool to see. It was a lot of WCW stuff out there, really, for this tag team Apocalypto. We saw the Rock and Roll Express. We saw Royal Warrior Animal. We saw Hornswoggle even show up. Disco Inferno, ODB, 3 Count in a way, the Hurricane. I don't know where the Bravado Brothers are from, but at least they got some exposure out there. Who else was in this thing? I mean, I named everybody, but you know, Helms Dynasty and Decay, DCC, which I wish we could just get all 3 of them to show up, which would have been better, so that James Storm showing up with all these clone guys with him. But hey, what he's gonna do is probably this film either before or after, I'm not sure, but at least James Storm was somewhat part of it. I just wish he wasn't eliminated so early. Now, I know people are going to go on to say about this. Some people are going to love this thing. Some people are going to hate this thing and think it's an embarrassment to wrestling and stuff. I'll say this. I've liked this stuff since Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy ever did that contract signing at for Slammiversary earlier this year, and I thought that shit was hilarious as ever. When I say, brother Nero, it's over. Did I think it would get this popular and gotten this over? No, but they made people care about TNA again in a way by watching this stuff. Okay, they really did, and you can't blame them for it because I know some people ripped it in half on TNA for this. It's an embarrassment. They're in the doghouse. They're nothing. We hope you go out of business. Yada yada yada. Now I wish I don't know. Everyone has Pop TV, so I don't know if the ratings will go that high. I'm sure a lot of people were live streaming this last night. I watched it on TV on Pop TV, or they're gonna watch it today. I'm sure there were a lot of views on YouTube because people are gonna have fun watching this stuff. It's long. It's a marathon, but it's better than watching Monday Night Raw when I'm damn near going to sleep. At least this kept me engaged throughout the whole show. It really did. It kept me engaged. You know, just paying attention, knowing what was going to happen next. But they like Matt Hardy, he's made this work. He's made it work somehow, and he's done it again. Now, I don't know what this will do TNA. I hope this is a step in the right direction for TNA. Really, it really needs to, because this is fun. Like, at least Matt Hardy makes people want to have fun in wrestling again. People love this delete stuff, delete, obsolete, final deletion. Lots of people love it. I like it. Now, people, like I said before, people are gonna disagree with me. Some people think it's an embarrassment to wrestling. They're gonna hate it. They wish it stopped. It's horrible. It's vile. Fuck TNA. Yada yada yada. But personally, I like this whole final deletion stuff, and I've been a fan since Matt Hardy started doing this again. I did like Big Money Matt at first with that gimmick, but somehow he made this thing work, and people paid attention. It would be a shame if they went to WWE, because people said if you want to go on and say they need to go to WWE, they need to go to WWE for this. But here's the thing, like, Vince McMahon will ruin this, alright? That Meek Mahan right there will ruin the creative genius. See, and this is, yeah, it's one thing. At least they gave Matt Hardy the creative freedom to do anything he wanted to do. It made this shit work. If this was WWE doing this stuff, they would ruin this thing. Come on, man. Like, I said this before a long time ago. Do you really want the Hardys to go back to WWE right now after what they did to the Team 3D, the Dudleys and stuff? Like, they came back, had some steam for a second. Next thing you know, job. Nobody didn't care about them anymore. Do I think the Hardys are one of the hottest things in wrestling this year? Yes, probably Matt Hardy had the best gimmick maybe this year in wrestling, and some people probably going to Wrestler of the Year category if you want to. He fits that category for this year. The man has been just a genius this year, phenomenal, really. No pun, no disrespect to AJ Styles with that, phenomenal stuff, but like, he has just been cool to watch. Wondering what's going to happen next on Impact for what they do with the final deletion or whatever. And we know TNA's had some bad times recently. We wish Billy Corgan would have taken over, and people, I think fans were just so dissatisfied. And I was very pissed too that Billy Corgan didn't win and couldn't get his way. And Billy Corgan did what he did to save it. I don't know what these Anthem people's intentions are. I know Billy Corgan sat down with him. You can go listen to the interview too much. They literally have the same thing, but it's just a fucking moron. We know this. We could shit on Dixie all day. She is hurt this company. Billy is one wants to save it. I don't know what's gonna happen going next year. I hope good things will happen for TNA, and maybe this thing is a start. Maybe they can get the right people, but they got to get this shit better now. Like, for real. Like, you have the Hardys, but we gotta get these other guys over too now. I wish more TNA wrestlers could have showed up to this thing. Yeah, I would have liked if Mike Bennett showed up to this thing, or Moose, or Gail Kim, Jade, or I wish Rosemary would have showed up in EC3. That probably would have been a title matches, which was technically in storyline right now, but it didn't happen. But we could have seen more people show up from different companies. Sure, we have most of the teams from Impact to come, but for this Apocalypto stuff. But I think, like I said before, people really wanted to see the Young Bucks. They wanted to see the Young Bucks in this thing, because they kept saying the Bucks of Youth, the Bucks of Youth. What do I think the Hardys will do next? I don't know, but I had fun watching this thing. It was funny, it was crazy, it was just batshit insane. It was what the fuck's going on. It's many ways you could describe the total Nonstop Deletion, really. Many ways. And it's just, I just didn't know who was gonna win. Like, and the Hardys still retain the titles. So it's just crazy how this whole match went from different parts and spots of the show. But I still did like the breaking the fourth wall against Triple H right there with that line. But like I said, I enjoyed the show. I had fun watching it. I don't know what's gonna happen next in this thing. I probably need to take a break from a while from all these final deletions and probably wait a couple months until we get back to doing it. We don't want to overexpose it too much, like James Ellsworth on SmackDown. But what will the Hardys do next? I don't know. Like I said, we went from final deletion to delete or decay to the Great War, even that little thing with the DCC, and now total non-stop deletion. So, whatever happens next, we will see what's gonna go on with the Hardys. Like, I don't know. Is it a 50-50 line thing really with the with the fans liking it and loving it? Yeah, but I think it's more majority fans that do love this shit and love what the Hardys are doing. I'm sure a lot of people out there are gonna be shitting on. Do I look at it as a 50-50 thing? Maybe, but I think people liking it may have a higher, more advantage than the people that do not like it. I mean, I've read some comments and everything. There are people that are shitting on it, and there are people that are just love this insanity shit. So, hey, I don't know, but you just got to wait and see what the Hardys will do next. But like I said before, you probably said this already, but I enjoyed it. I don't know whether we have more tag teams show up, which I hope they do it again to get more people to show up. If we ever do another tag team Apocalypto, like just more, just bring it in, like get something like Ring of Honor could have had a chance. They could have got some good ass exposure. Could have put the Young Bucks. So yeah, bring Red Dragon there. Bring fucking the Kingdom. Mike Bennett could have been in a reunite with those guys, and it would have been fun to watch those guys team up with each other again. Moose, bring out Dalton Castle. That'd be fun to watch it there. Jay fucking Lethal. Cody Rhodes. I wish Cody Rhodes would stuck around Impact to be part of this final deletion stuff. I don't know. Aaron Rex, Sandow. I don't know. It's all over the place. There's so many ways you can work it with this thing. But hey, they did a great job anyways. TNA, they did a great job of getting many people they could there. I hope to see more of this, but maybe we'll find out next week who wins the World Heavyweight Championship between Bobby Lashley and Eddie Edwards, if they're still fighting in this force right now or to whatever. So, like I said, I hope good things come out for TNA after all this stuff, and maybe they can get themselves on track and hopefully go better next year. Because it's not the wrestling that is not bad on the show. They have the talent, they have the people, they have the wrestlers, they have the good team. It's just the business, financial parts of it, and like I said, Dixie Carter ruining stuff because of money and business issues. That has been the main problem. That's really been the problem with this. We never really discredit the wrestler. They can put on a great match out there. I like guys like Eli Drake out there. Yeah, dummy. Which I wish he would have showed up too. That would have been funny. Had a dummy segment on the final deletion. That would have been fun to watch also. But yeah, hey, what can I say? It was a lot in this. Hopefully things get better for these guys. Especially hopping into next year. And we'll just have to find out. Hopefully they can get this shit together and money straight. And hopefully God, Dixie Carter doesn't fuck it up. And maybe these Anthem people will get majority control of this company. And I still think they should hire Billy Corgan back just because. But hey, we'll focus on the total Nonstop Deletion here. It was fun to watch. It was a great show. Like I said multiple times. But I'm out here. Love it or hate it. Comment on this video. Tell me what you guys thought of the total Nonstop Deletion tonight. I'm out of here. See you later. Peace out.